Welcome to Loose Toss, the comedy podcast with the most sauce.
Drip, drip.
I am Willie Griswold, joined by Collin, Unger.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Loose Toss. And we got a real loose toss for you today with Sam Miller.
Yeah, today we have a 5-piece. Little intro, just me and Collin. Then we talk to Sam Miller. Make sure you check him out at sammillercomedy.com. He has a new special out there called Round Trip.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. The special's incredible. After Sam, me and Collin talk about my daily walk. After that, it gets weird, man.
It gets wild. It does get a little wild.
We had a lot of fun recording it, and we really hope you guys enjoy it. At the very end, stick around. We're going to tell you guys where you can find us online and shows coming up. Enjoy this. It's a loose toss.
Drip, drip.
You eaten anything good in Chicago yet, Sam?
Yeah, I like the hot dogs.
Have you gone to Wiener Circle?
Yeah, they have my picture up in Wiener Circle.
Really?
Yeah.
Do not ever allow this man.
No.
Yeah, the wall of like dining dashers.
Because it's right by the Laugh Factory. No, they have my picture up there. Because you wouldn't believe it. Before I did stand-up comedy, I used to do like circus shit. And I can balance stuff on my chin.
Wait, real quick.
What?
You said you wouldn't believe that? I totally believe that.
I know.
Absolutely. I believe
Like,
it.
I'll show you
awesome.
before I leave.
Like you
So,
toured
like,
with circuses?
No, I didn't tour with circuses, but I used to do like halftime shows and stuff like that. Like
So
at roller
quick
derby
change.
things.
What?
It was the quick
Yeah.
change guy. It was the little dog act, and it was Sam Miller. With
Yeah, the plate spinners, and then me. No,
awesome.
no. You got like I really was like I was really good at it.
So did you like do a show for them or something?
Yeah,
And
I
they
did
put
all
your photo
kinds
on
of
the
stuff.
wall?
I had a whole act I would do. Yeah, in my finale, I would balance a running lawnmower on my chin.
Is that for real?
I am being 100% honest with you,
Oh my
Collin.
God.
I wouldn't lie to you, Collin. I just met you.
Yeah. I mean,
I only lie to people I love. You know? I don't really care what you think about me yet. I don't know you that well, Willie. I know a little bit.
I'm extremely impressed.
Just walked
I want to get a fucking lawnmower in here now, dude.
Dude,
I want to get dangerous right now.
Not only could I not balance the lawnmower, I couldn't even start the thing without flooding the engine.
I felt getting out of bed.
Well, I
today.
had to use an
I'm a
electric
mess.
one. I tried using the gas one, and it wasn't meant to be like that. And the gas dripped on my face, and I was like,
So, like, how you bomb at open mics, like getting good at comedy? How do you? It just
I'll
falls
tell you
on
something. Okay, so I was working. I was practicing with a wheelbarrow in my backyard. There's me with a kayak on
Oh
my
my
chin.
God!
That's wild.
that kayak. So you're like what, 6'7"?
I can't.
Yeah.
That kayak.
I can't even drag that.
That thing's like a 12-foot kayak.
That's the only kayak my friend had. I didn't have kayak money in the chin balancing days, you know. So I was like, oh yeah. I was like, hey, let me borrow your kayak. And then he was like, here it is. And I was like, you got any smaller kayaks? He goes, you're a big guy. You need a big kayak. And I was like, I'm not using it as you intend me to.
How does the chin balancing game pay?
Not good. Not as bad as comedy, but it's not good. Yeah, the chin balancing open mics are rough.
It's just.
You know?
It's like a hat out on the street. You're standing there for hours with a kayak.
You're like, can
on
you
your
do
chin?
5 minutes? I'm like, my neck's gonna get pretty tired,
That's
but
amazing.
I'll go for it.
Just you at a concert balancing like a girl on your chin instead of being on your shoulders.
It was really, I've never done people. People move around.
Yeah.
I started. So what would happen is with my dad at the bus stop, and I was easily entertained as a child, and I would hang out, and I just balanced sticks on my finger.
Yeah.
And I got really good at it.
I'm pretty good with a broomstick. The trick is you look up at the top, not down by the base. Yeah?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Instead of keeping the broomstick on your finger, keep your finger under the broomstick. Like you have to think about it differently. It's a good analogy for life.
That is. That's kind of beautiful. I might start crying. I mean, that's kind of beautiful. I'm going through a bad time that just changed everything.
Yeah.
He's Irish Catholic. He hasn't cried in like 10 years.
Not every
No, it's like
podcast.
every 5 years I cry.
Yeah, not
And
every
it's a long
podcast can be about cum.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to talk about goals
Write
and
what you know,
dreams.
dude. Write what you know. My goal is to come more.
we gotta get like a sign like at Notre Dame how it says like play like a champion today.
Yeah.
We gotta get a sign that says not every episode has to be about God.
Yeah.
My room is just like I'm in prison. It's just scratches on the wall, but it's just for every time I came.
Most
just-
people
I
can
look
only
insane.
handle so much cum.
And then,
Some people have special abilities to handle more than the average.
That's me. I can handle a lot of cum.
God
As long as
bless
it's
him.
my own cum, I can handle it.
That's cool.
Didn't see that turn coming, man. That was wild. Wait, so are there actually open mics? Are there places where you practice circus stuff with circus folk?
Yeah, they have like it's a big community. You know, one of my good friends, Alex Zerby, the Zerbiak, he's a professional
Zerbiak.
he's a professional juggler. He's been doing it a full-time job. And he does this thing called the Diablo, which is like have you ever seen the thing? It's like an hourglass and it's in between two strings on some poles.
Yeah.
He was on America's Got Talent and stuff. Like he's a legit entertainer. He actually helped me when I went full-time at comedy.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot, like business stuff, like tax stuff, like all that boring stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not that different, except he does a lot of, and he has an act too that like where they have like science lessons, you know? And it's like photosynthesis, and then he like throws a club in the air or something. I don't know.
I would love it.
I'm sorry, Zerby. I know it's more than that, dude.
No, I know. But the way that you described it, the kids actually aren't learning anything.
No.
He's just saying words that he vaguely remembers. Quadratic formula and throwing stuff in the
have you
air.
seen that stuff? Like they have these guys that ride BMX bikes, and they do this anti-bullying show, but they're doing backflips on their bike, and they're like, "Stop picking on other kids." Whoa!
Yeah, so pretty much me and my fellas, we go around with devil sticks and we tell kids why they shouldn't smoke marijuana. That's what we do. We go school to school.
Dude.
We throw it up. They catch it.
Yeah.
It was when I taught at high school in Inglewood for 4 years, and we would have shit like that where we would like try and bring someone in to like give good inspirational lessons, and it always ended with like that person leaving and immediately the students being like, "That dude was gay." And I'm like, "No, you guys, he made some good points." There was one where he was like,
Do you mean the gay gentleman who we invited to teach you kids about bullying?
Yeah.
You just taught him how to bully better.
I know.
one was like about drugs.
So they
and
bullied him after.
Oh, dude, they bullied.
he left.
I mean, they bullied me like crazy.
Oh, I bet.
Collin used to get his ass kicked before you'd come home, and I would be like, I was in college at the time, so I'd just be like hanging out on the couch
Did you
playing.
go to
video games.
USC?
No. Inglewood is also a neighborhood in Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Englewood, California.
No,
No,
same
yeah.
thing though. It's still like bad neighborhood.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
There's like a bunch of Inglewoods, and they're all bad.
It's a
neighborhoods.
hopeful
I
neighborhood.
just love that you just go, same thing, still a bad.
No, it's like
so
not
matter
because
of fact.
Nashville has one, New York has one. I think.
It's not a good neighborhood for you. Other people thrive.
Oh no, dude! There were multiple. One time, a guy came up to my window and just started yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I'm just like sitting there with the Starbucks. Like,
Yeah. Did you
I didn't say
ask
shit back.
yourself? See, I have low self-esteem, so whenever it was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing anywhere?
Was that God? Was he
What
even
is
there?
this world?"
Dude, I mean that job is like it was good life experience, but like I realized how like
Yeah, you get to be a
unmanly
better
I am.
person going through some
But
shit.
dude, he would come
Yeah.
home and I would go to 1 3-hour college class and then go home and play video games all day. And he'd come home and be like, "Dude, I got this really great new joke about Target. Basically, Target is more like," and he'd be like, "I got my ass kicked by a 14-year-old girl today.
Oh my god.
Dude,
You
the
cannot-
fights were intense.
You cannot talk to me for 10 minutes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
need to
dude.
relax. You need to shut up."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would just stare.
I
would
worked
think
at,
about my life.
I was going to start doing comedy full time in June of 2020, but then COVID hit. I had like a West Coast tour and an album recording. I was ready to go. I was throwing heat at big Seattle Times article. Bunch of stuff just going my way. And then boom, it was gone. And I was going to quit working there. I'd working in high schools doing violence prevention work. And I went back to this homeless shelter. And I got a joke about it, man. Like my job was basically trying to get schizophrenic folks to put masks on. And that shit was hard. I'd literally ask him. I'd be like,
That's hilarious.
I'd be like, "Hey man, like, listen, I need you to put this mask on your face. There's this thing you can't see. It's trying to get in your body." And he'd be like, "I know." Like, yeah, I know, Sam. You know, it's like, no, bro.
I've been trying to tell
there's
people
this
that for
other
years.
thing, you know, it was crazy, man.
That's so
There was
funny.
one dude. I tried to get this dude to put a mask on, and he was like, "I don't have a head," and I was like. And I'm like, that's the best excuse I've heard.
Well, look at you, you Ichabod Crane motherfucker. Look at you.
Yeah. He's actually doing
intense.
good now, I hear, so makes me happy. But yeah, it was brutal, man. Honestly, like sometimes like a job like that literally changed like the shape of who I am. Like
Dude.
I was one
100%.
person when I went into that. And also, as far as comedy goes, like on the back side of that, like I think I appreciate comedy so much more now. not because I lost it in the past, but I know that losing it is something that can happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's not so much about what happened. It's knowing now that like what could happen, you know.
That's why
wild.
like I quit teaching because people like everyone was saying like live performance isn't coming back for like a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like I can't just teach. Like I hate this so fucking. I would like teaching during the pandemic when you're teaching at a school in the South Side rocks though because you had to call like the specific list of students for me and like the parents would pick up and be like stop fucking calling me. I'm like okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting paid to smoke weed and play 2K today. This rocks.
Colin's just sitting at the other end of the line going, why did I even call that guy?
Oh no, dude, it rocked. It was
hard.
the and then the only student that ever answered was my favorite student who had Down syndrome. His name was Deshaun, so we would just practice like verbal shit. I'm like, "What have you been up to?" He's like, "Beyonce." And I'm like,
What about
"Cool,
Beyonce?
man." And no, he just listens. He listens to his favorite. Beyonce's his favorite artist, and he's like, "I like Bop That Back."
Yeah.
And I would look up Bop That Back on YouTube,
And then
and it
you
was just a
ask him questions.
twerking video.
Yeah,
And I'm like, "My man's growing up."
that's rad.
I was like, "I'd love to see it."
I messed like Lemonade. That's a good album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
She's trying to get everybody information.
I didn't like
dude.
the country song though.
Which one?
On Lemonade, she had one song that was like a country song.
Get you fired up?
No, I didn't like it.
Why not?
I don't know.
I'm not big on.
I like
just
when I
got
listen to
into country.
Beyonce, I don't want to listen to country. When
Yeah,
I
I
listen
feel
to
that.
country, I listen to country.
That's like when Kid Cudi did like a rock album.
No, because my favorite country singer is the actor Bradley Cooper. I love that Star is Born movie, man. I'm telling you. I like.
Dude, I could turn you on to some good country music.
No, I like
man.
good country. I like Jason
Tyler
Isbell.
Childers? Do you
I
like him?
Tyler Childers.
I don't know any of the new stuff.
I like Zach Bryan. Isbell actually wrote some of the songs for that movie.
Oh, there you go. That
But I
checks
just,
out.
I love saying to like a real country guy being like, yeah, my favorite country singer is Jackson Maine, played by Bradley Cooper. They get
That's
fired up.
sick,
They don't
yeah.
like it. They don't like it at all.
No,
You're a
I
big
bet
country
not.
guy?
Not huge, but I
Okay.
mean, I listen to everything.
Have you ever been to Country Thunder?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's like a music festival that's just like in the middle of a field, and it's
like
the most lawless music festival
if people,
there is.
this is my thing with country. Like, I know people like it, and I'm not passing judgment on nobody. If somebody likes some stuff and it brings them joy, it don't hurt nobody. Have at it. I used to be like hate on people for shit they were into, but like I can't do like the rah like NASCAR stuff, and I like NASCAR, but like I can't do the like it's like virtue signaling,
Sure.
but on the right, where it's like not to get like political or whatever, but it's like the left virtue signals and the right virtue signals,
Sure.
and I don't like any of it.
Yeah.
Like it weirds me out. You
Yeah.
know?
I went to
Like-
I went to a Leonard Skinner concert when I was 14.
Yeah.
So it's like 8th grade, and you're like just learning about like Civil War, Reconstruction, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, we learned like the stars and bars, the Confederate
yeah,
flag.
yeah,
It's like, hey,
yeah.
that's a hate symbol. It's a negative thing.
Yeah.
And then I went to a Leonard Skinner concert, and like as Sweet Home Alabama plays,
Yeah.
dude, they got a visual, they got a PowerPoint.
I know,
the stars and
dude.
bars are everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
we're in Indiana.
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
in the
yeah.
north.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about right
Yeah.
now?
It's the weirdest
I had a
thing.
friend in high school whose phone background was a Confederate flag.
That's the
And
band.
he's like, I'm from the South. I'm like, dude, you grew up in like the suburbs of Chicago.
Also-
it's like your
Yeah.
parents are from the South, and they don't.
Dude, the
don't
band
rock that.
Leonard Skinner existed longer than the Confederacy. The Confederacy only lasted like 4 years. Leonard
Flash
Skinner.
in the pan.
Yeah, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah. I used to have a joke about it where I got into it. This is back in the day. Like, I don't post anything political on Facebook anymore because honestly, it doesn't, like, right now, as far as I'm like, it doesn't matter what I think about a lot of stuff. But like a friend of mine, like posted the Confederate flag, and he's like, tradition, not hate. And I'm like, I get that you think that, but some people see that thing because you got to remember, like, a lot of people, like, that's the Confederate flag is the last thing they ever saw before they were killed in like racist violence. And like, if your experience and your tradition like means more than that, then that kind of like, I don't know how much I trust you in other areas, you know. But the thing is, like, they put this, you'll love this, they put that flag on there, and I was like, dude, that's kind of a wild flex. Like, I don't think you should be putting that on your Facebook, man. I sent a private message. He's like, I don't think you understand what that flag means, you know. Do you even know what it symbolizes? I was like, the blue is the tears of the Confederate wives, the red is the blood of the Confederate soldiers, and the white's probably ranch. And I used to do that joke, but like I also like I left it alone.
That is very funny. And also, I'm sure that he appreciated that joke in the moment, and he had to be like,
You know what's weird, dude? I'll tell you something, man. What's cool is that people do change. Like cats did take that down. And Willie, you know some of my history. Like, I spent a lot of time locked up. I used to have some pretty backwards ideas. And like, what's wild, man, is that like, when I allow myself to like accept everybody else, it allows me to accept myself more, like in a weird way, by being like, yeah, I don't care. Like, if folks are trans, man, that's whatever. Like, I don't mind like doing your pronouns right. It might take me a couple whacks, but I'll figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, that shit don't bug me, man. I don't know. It just doesn't, I don't know, because it's not like an issue to me.
The thing is, it bothers Collin a lot. He's going to get fired up.
I'm actually sweating right now. I might flip this table.
But this is the thing, though, is that if I can accept that shit, then it doesn't matter that I fart too much.
Yeah, for real.
You know? I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying those issues are the same thing.
No, they're not. There's
like,
a Venn diagram for sure.
Like, by accepting trans folks, you can love NASCAR even more.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're just at like a protest for it, like being on their side, and someone's like, "Who keeps fucking farting?"
I'm sorry.
What's that smell?
I was gonna come here today.
Yeah. You're farting it.
You shut it down because they think there's like a gas.
Yeah, Drag Queen story hour. Like, it smells like shit in here, and I'm like, sorry.
The L in LGBTQ
Sam
does
Miller
not.
ruins protest by farting.
Yeah.
The L does not stand for lactate, Sam.
Oh my god.
No, man. It's the thing, and also like my dad, he'll like talk. He'll be like, "Well, I'm just afraid that I'll say someone's pronouns incorrectly, and then I'll get canceled." You know what? I've literally brought up comics with the wrong pronouns probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Every time I do it, they come up to me afterward like, "Hey, by the way, you said she. I'm using they, them now." And I go, "Oh, my bad." They
And
go,
it's not
"Oh,
that-
cool."
well,
And that's
yeah.
it.
I
Well,
think-
that's it. That's the whole conversation. That's over.
We're fairly young, and it is a thing where like folks are coming along, but like also like the thing is like just like chill out a little bit. It's okay to make mistakes and whatever. And I think sometimes like maybe there was like a bad experience where they got like somebody kind of snapped on them, and maybe they had it coming, but don't like throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know? I like to think about where that phrase came from. I was trying to get
Oh yeah, I've never heard that before. Yeah.
You never heard that before? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think you for sure heard.
Where'd
it
you
before.
grow up at?
Around here, like suburbs of Chicago, like
Oh, really?
45 minutes south of the city.
You grew up in Indianapolis?
Yeah, he's very bad at idioms though, like point and case. Is it point and case or case and point? Because we've
Case in point.
It's case in point.
So we've goofed about it for
Point
so
and
many.
case?
He always does point and case.
Dude, that
said
makes
it-
no
I- yeah,
sense. What does that mean?
No,
He would,
Wait, what
Willie
is
would
the
just
other way?
freak out. He's like, "What are you talking about? What does it mean?" I was like, "How do you not get it?"
Case
I was like,
in
"You're
point.
dumb, dude." And he would just
Point
get
case.
madder and madder. I also love like your dad trying to like get woke.
Oh yeah,
Because
it's
my
very
dad
funny.
did that. I had a cousin that came out, but like I knew like she whooped my ass growing up in basketball every single time we played.
yeah.
But my dad was like. He's like, I just don't get why someone would be upset about it. He's like, you know, if you're gay, you could be gay. Like, I'm like, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm like, is that what you're getting at? Because
Yeah, he was really looking forward to
I'm
it.
glad you would be cool with it, but
Yeah.
Dude,
I
my-
think it would just make sense to him at this point.
I was literally just on the phone with my mom, and I was talking about how I was like in bed yesterday, and then I was like, "Yeah, Colin's coming over," and she was like, "Oh God, what are you getting to with this?" And I was like, "Mom, you would love it. If I was,
Why
gay,
does
it would make your day. If my mom would be the most proud mother of all
yeah.
time.
if you were gay or if you were gay with me.
She's already proud of me. If I was gay with you, she would just laugh.
She'd
She
probably
thinks
not want.
she thinks Colin's a bozo.
Yeah.
One time, Colin
You
kept
can do
telling
better than Collin.
Colin.
Oh, come on, man. What, do I got to balance that bass over there on my chin for your respect?
we were hanging out with Colin one time, me, Colin, and my mom, and Colin keeps telling these stories that just weren't great. I'm not trying to be a dick here.
I don't like, they weren't stories, they were just statements because no one was talking and silence makes me uncomfortable.
Were you just saying like stuff that you were looking at? We're like,
I was like, red
I've
car,
never,
blue car.
never seen a clock like that
Yeah.
before. Wow, look how like that minute hands.
Yeah.
So Betsy, is that one of
Long.
those? That's one of those iPhones there. I got one of those too. Yeah, seems like everybody.
Oh.
And so he's telling these bad stories, and I call him out a little bit. And my mom,
Not a little bit.
My mom is such a sweetheart, and she goes, "Willie, can you please just be nice to your friend? He's just trying to engage us in conversation." I go, "You know what? I'm sorry." And then like 10 minutes later, Colin just goes, "Man, I used to not like gin and tonics. I like them now." And then my mom just goes, "Come on, Colin. You don't have to say everything that comes into your brain."
I don't like silence, dude. But yeah, I totally understand why your mom thinks I'm an idiot. That's,
Oh my God.
That makes
I love that.
absolute sense.
So
Everyone
funny.
in
Why are
Willie's
you guys
family thinks I'm
staring
like an
this
idiot.
direction?
I don't know. I think I'm disassociating. Colin mentioned the bass. Yeah, you guys can't see this in the clips. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, we are in my cousin's old recording studio.
There's a lot going
half
on.
a drum set. There's a guitar. There's a bass. Sam, actually, for the second part of the show, we just form a jazz trio.
Yeah. We play that poorly, and then you have to freestyle sing/rap.
Bro, I can rap a little bit.
I feel like
You can
could,
do it all, dude.
I
You're-
feel
do a
like
lot of
you could be a
stuff.
great singer in like a hip hop based jug band. Like there's like a bunch of fellas.
Oh,
that make,
like,
You're
Yeah.
like Jamie Foxx.
Do you ever hear
You can
about
do it
my
all.
idea
what do you got?
for? It's a country band. It's a country R&B hybrid band. Yeah, it's called Toby.
Wait, why is
Do
it?
you know about? Do you get it?
No.
Oh, there's a great
It
R&B
just
band
sounds
called
like-
Tony, and
Oh.
they spell all the Tonys differently, and then
Yeah,
So you guys are
Toby.
too. Wait, how old are you guys?
30.
19.
He's not
No, I'm
shy.
29. I'm
29. That was like, God
No.
damn,
I
dude,
look
that's
bad.
a hard ass
Yeah.
night, too,
You
bro.
did it really well. It was-
Yeah.
I've always looked rough. I
Yeah.
worked at this bar one time and everyone was guessing my age. And it was like right when I
Yeah.
first started comedy. I was like
I've
23.
always looked rough.
Yeah.
I've always looked, and everyone was like, "Oh, like they were guessing like 28, 27." And then this is our bar back was like, he's like, "No," he's like, "You're like 23, 24." I'm like, "My man, Reggie."
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, "Yeah." He's like, "I could tell. It just looks like life beat the shit out of you a little
Yeah,
bit."
yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, you look like
Yeah.
you're always about to sigh.
"Oh, dude, yeah." That's what happens when you don't cry for years. My face starts to sag like I'm the Emperor in Star Wars.
He stares off a lot.
Yeah.
Like if we're in the car, he'll
You
be
guys
like,
are doing that together right now. It's like a staring tag team.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you guys look? There's like a drumsticks in the corner, all
Yeah,
this stuff.
I don't
You,
know.
guys you don't see that dog?
No, there's not. Shut the hell up, dude.
I haven't been getting a lot of sleep, so I'm just losing my mind.
I think everything is okay. I think you're fine.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I lived in this abandoned camper for a while. It was not good. I was homeless for a long time. I'm doing better now.
Good.
Don't
Good.
worry
I'm glad
about
to
it.
hear. I'm
Don't
glad to
worry
hear
about it.
that.
I have a wife and kids. It's terrible. Abandoned camperism. Sometimes you just like grow where you're planted. That's what I always say.
Abandoned camper never needs food before bedtime. Abandoned
Yeah.
camper, you never need to talk to the abandoned camper just to make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
Abandoned camper's got your back.
This might bump people out, and I want you to know, like, I don't know what your reaction to any of this. I have never talked about this publicly before, but like, I abandoned the abandoned camper, and the lady bought it from whoever it did belong to, and they turned it into a chicken coop. But when they were cleaning it out, there was like a dead cat like in the camper,
Oh my!
which isn't good. I thought like,
The whole time you were there?
I think there was a cat living in there with me, but we kept our distance from each other.
Was it-
And maybe I saw
create a
some
pie.
clues.
Like a couple of Craigslist roommates that don't want to bother each other.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It was so bad.
Did they know
It
that
was
you were
so
staying there
bad.
when you were
What?
at the abandoned camper?
People knew I was in there, but nobody said anything. That's what's
I
weird
kinda-
about, dude. There was this dude, so like, this guy was like, "Hey, you could stay at my house," and then I would stay at this house. This was in North Central Washington. I got fired from the Forest Service. I was drinking and doing a lot of meth, and like, they're like, "You can stay here." And then what's weird is that like one day he just wasn't there. And like I just kept staying there, and I was like,
What?
whose house is this? And then like I was there for like 4 months, and it was like one day like the power went off, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna roll with it,
You got
It
it.
was so cold.
Did you ever see him again?
No, his name was, but everybody called him Dumpster Snake. He was not a good dude.
Dumpster Snake wasn't a good guy.
I know.
Could you imagine that dumpster
Yeah.
snake?
Dude.
I don't know if he's alive anymore. I feel bad because I have talked about this dude publicly, but like some bad stuff happened. But I appreciated the guy. I don't think he was a bad dude, but maybe it was like a joke. But man, we were all kind of bad and like doing bad things, like methamphetamine, and like I love drug users and I love people in recovery.
Sure.
But like there really is some weird stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not Breaking Bad. It's not. There was actually a character on Breaking Bad, like some of Jesse's friends.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that people worked on that show were like at least knew about that culture. Because like that really big guy, I think he was on Lost back in the day too, or whatever.
Yeah,
Was
Jorge
it- was it
Garcia.
Weezer?
Yeah, I think was he on Breaking Bad? Wasn't he one of Jesse's friends
I
or
don't.
somebody?
I've truly never seen Breaking
Okay,
Bad.
so the big guy
That's
on
insane.
Jesse's friend, who was like the big guy on Breaking Bad,
With the
I
funny
knew
voice.
that dude. Yeah. And he was always like, he wasn't like scheming, but like it was always something, like I know that guy.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
And it's always like bad ideas.
Sorta. I mean, once you're involved in once you're kind of tied into stuff like that, even your good ideas usually are to get high or whatever.
Sure.
So I feel like this podcast really fell apart.
How similar?
Did I tell you about the chin balancing?
How similar is? This may be a crazy question, but people always just say like Adderall is like legal meth. How similar are they? Like,
I never did Adderall.
All right, Sam. Well, we got some Adderall here for you.
Yeah. I would never touch. I'm a patriot. So.
I'm a soldier of Jesus.
Adderall.
Yeah, if you're going back in, I'm not going back in with pharmaceuticals.
Would you like some Adderall?
Well, I would do it in college.
No thanks, man.
I'm not a fucking
And I
nerd.
just love to read it.
I'll be leaving.
Yeah.
Ask me again. No. I don't think I ever did it. Well, I did some probably.
Well, if you don't like the depiction of like addiction in storytelling and TV film, what about? I've always hated whenever like someone gets high in a movie and they do that thing where like it becomes animated all of a sudden.
Yeah, like birds start singing or something.
That's my least favorite. It's like, no, that's not what getting high feels like.
Yeah,
just do
yeah.
like a little. Sometimes they'll change like a sepia tone or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've never liked a depiction of drug use in TV and film.
You know, the best, I gotta say, like in my estimation, the best depiction of both addiction and recovery I've ever seen in a movie was Flight, that Denzel Washington movie.
Great movie.
I
movie
thought
rocked.
that was a fantastic depiction of addiction because he had that movie. He's about ready to go to the thing to do for his big day in front of the thing. He's got his case like he can beat it, and he can't help it. And when that happened, I remembered I was on probation, right? And I was doing things. So I got U8 every week, right? And this was back when they couldn't
does that
test
mean?
for alcohol. Urine analysis.
Got it. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I should say that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm using industry jargon. Do you like my callback? Yeah. Hope the setup's firm. You got a type 5? Anyway, I would get a urinalysis once a week, right? And it was random. But here's the thing is they would do it every 1 week period. So if I would get U8 on Sunday, I knew I had at least 7 days before I got U8 again, right? And I could get away with, I couldn't smoke weed, but I could get away with methamphetamine. I could get away with alcohol. So methamphetamine was out of your system in 2 or 3 days. And back then, all they had was breathalyzers. So you couldn't, they also had this other test where they would look for enzymes, but that was like 2 or 3 days. Now they can test for alcohol pretty effectively. And a lot of times they're putting scram bracelets on people that really screw you. But anyway, I knew that I could drink, right? And I would drink here and there, if I got U8 early, But then one time it's like I knew I had a probation appointment, and anytime you went to a probation appointment, you could have to do a drug test. And I hadn't done methamphetamine in like 4 months or something, and I was doing pretty good, still drinking and like in trouble. But for some reason, like that night, I just wound up. I went out to my friend's house out in the sticks. I'm not going to say his name on a podcast. And I wound up getting like really high, staying up all night, going to see my probation officer at 9 a.m, being up all night, and like having that irrational like methamphetamine confidence, like I'm tricking her, she's buying it, right? And like I was like, yeah, everything's going good, I was like, I feel like I have this drive finally to like I've had goals for a while, but I think I have a strategy to reach them. I'm doing great, Leslie.
Do you have a kayak on you?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, that's great, Sam. That's great, Sam. Okay, I'll see you in a month, Sam. And she hands me a note, and it just says report for UA.
Oh.
And here's the thing, like, that's time. Like, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
Like, I have to take a UA. And then also the thing is they did not know. Like I went to jail for weed mostly, right? And resisting arrest and theft. And I don't know why I need to tell you that. But I was going to jail for weed. That's the drug that they knew that I did. They knew I drank and they knew I smoked pot. And all of a sudden I piss hot for weed, right? And I get my probation violation and I'm in court. And not only that, like I did a lot of meth. I tried doing a little bit, so not only did I piss hot, like they had the levels.
They had the full gamut.
Yeah, I'm in court, right? And the prosecutor is like, Sam has all these resisting arrests. We know he's violent,
Oh.
We know. And dude, I did time on that.
Yeah.
I did time on that. And it's like all like, why in the world? And that's why I say with that movie Flight, like he had everything hinged on that moment and he had it ready to go. And that's the thing is like it just doesn't care.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't care what you're doing. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't care how much you want. Like you can't like getting sober when you were in a spot like me. Like it's not something like I couldn't will it into existence. You know, like I couldn't, no matter how bad I wanted it, you know, it's like you almost you have to almost give up and be like, all right, like I'll get help, you know?
Yeah.
That shit sucks, man.
That is while you're taking the urinalysis in that moment, because like if you're in your PO's office and like you're still feeling top of the world, nothing can get me down, I'm BS and I'm making it through this.
I really thought I had her tricked.
When you have to pee, does that exist in you at all?
Dude,
or is that
looking at that note that said report for UA, and like even as I sit here right now, like you know when you get goosebumps but they like hurt,
yes,
like on your face,
yeah,
like that sense of like doom,
yeah,
and
that's sick feeling.
foreboding, yeah, like oh my god, like I can still feel it, like that shit will never leave me. You know what I mean? Like it'll never leave me, and that's one of the things. That's why I work so hard because like. Now I have kids and a wife, and I'm housed, and I'm a taxpayer, sorta. And my career is in a place where I never thought it would be. You know, I don't know if me and you ever talked about this because I probably wouldn't talk about it on the other show. But like, I never had a plan to do comedy full time. I just got to a spot where I was if I quit my job and take all these shows that I'm not taking, I think I'll make as much money as I am at my job. And this is what I want to do. And I'm terrified. And I asked my wife and my mom. And so now I have this career, but all this stuff is literally 100% contingent on me doing the things like my support group stuff. Like I have a therapist. Like it all has to start with that. If it doesn't start with that, it ends with me and the dead cat in like a trailer. Like that's what it is, dude. Like I think people like it's like other people in recovery. I think they understand me because they fucking get it, and I think people that have been through some shit they understand me. Like this isn't like as much as it's like, oh, this is fun. Like not every part of being a homeless drug addict is really funny. Some of it's kind of sad.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, dude, I don't think any part of it sounds really fun and funny.
Yeah.
I think
Until
that
you see me.
you have like a tremendous amount of positive outlook.
Yeah.
You're like, look, fellas, it's not all fun and games living on the street.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't think any of it was going to be fun and games living on the street. What are you talking about?
I'm just so
dude.
dumb. I'm like, that sounds like Shameless.
Yeah, dude, it really is. I thought
I just compare it to like a TV show I like.
yeah.
You just think, and you think that you're lip too. You think that you're like the kid, like, I could go into Harvard if it wasn't for my drinking.
I had an ex-girlfriend who started watching Shameless, and she hit me up, and she was like, because I was the one that told her to watch it, and she's like, you know who you remind me of? I'm like, oh, she's gonna say Lip. She thinks I'm hot and smart, and she's like, Frank. I'm like, you think I'm an alcoholic that like? And she's like, I would fuck Frank. I'm like, why? What is wrong with you?
I didn't say you remind me. I said that your skin reminds me of his skin.
Yeah.
I say this too all the time. Like my thing is like total abstinence or whatever, but like I think everybody has a chance to make like healthier decisions. Anytime we do something that is good for us that we're uncomfortable with, our life is gonna get better. Like making that, like dealing with that short-term fear to get to that long-term goal, like that ability, that volition, which is different than motivation. Like volition, your ability to like just take a step towards whatever. And I'm not talking about the steps. I just mean any kind of step, you know, to like maybe somebody's listening to like this and they've been like, man, I've been thinking about getting into therapy, thinking about getting into therapy. Don't think about it. Pick up your phone and figure it out. Like, don't think. Stop fucking thinking. Dude, thinking never worked for me. My best thinking got me in a trailer with a dead cat. That was me thinking as hard as I can.
Look, dude, this little fucker's probably got 9 lives. I can probably get 4 of those.
Me and
if I
this
grease
cat put
them.
our heads together. We're gonna fucking figure something out.
All right, dude. Well, we did 30. Is there anything you want to plug specifically? Your IG?
Yeah. If anybody wants to see more of my comedy, Sam Miller Comedy on Facebook, Sam Miller Comedian on Instagram, Sam Miller Comedy on God. Yeah, all that stuff. And I want to thank you too, man. Willie, you and me got like this weird history, and whether you know it or not, like you're you helped me a lot, and I'll remember that. And
Dude,
it's
if you
dope.
wanna go one step further,
So-
I found out about you through Joe Ames and Humboldt Jungle. So it's like,
Oh, no kidding.
I was
That's
definitely
sick,
like, I'm a
dude.
step in it, but also like, if I wasn't living in Chicago 5 years ago,
I'm
and
calling him today.
I randomly meet.
I hope he
Ames.
doesn't think, because I was supposed to do that Wednesday, but there was like a scheduling snafu or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think what's funny is he was like, "Oh man, unfortunately, like I know you had this Wednesday and we can't do it," and he felt really bad or whatever. But it's so funny because what was cool is I wound up booking that show in Princeton with Frankie the Chi-Town Hitman as a professional wrestler out there. By the way, had a blast out there.
That's
man.
awesome.
Every name that you said doesn't sound like a real name.
Yeah.
It's Dumpster Snake. It's Freddy.
Frankie.
So excuse me.
Yeah, he was in the WCW.
I mean,
Oh
yeah,
shit, that rocks.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is. I hear Women Crush Wednesday when I hear WCW. Is that a wrestling? It's a wrestling thing.
That also rocks.
You look like you're gonna kick my ass right now.
No, I
Sam.
just love watching you work out the world.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just staring off into the distance.
I feel like I'm watching a factory that forgot what it makes.
Dude, here's the thing about me. I don't always get
Yeah.
it right away. You
Yeah.
give me time. I get
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I always figure it out. I always get there.
You
at
got
the
some
end.
truck coming to pick up shoes, and it's like, are these ice cream sandwiches? Like,
You're gonna
what?
call in 2 weeks, being like, I figured out what WCW is.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes my brain it goes real slow.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you again for doing this.
Hell yeah.
Always fucking appreciate you.
This
That
was
was
fun.
very funny. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace. Dude, you need to engage with me when I talk to you. Do you know that I set a record at my school?
Fastest dick sucking? What?
No. Dude, this is why I don't want to do a podcast. You need to.
We're not recording.
We are recording.
No, this doesn't count. What? Say it. Come on.
I ran the first 40 that was ever ran over 10 seconds.
40-yard dash.
I ran an 11-second 40, 6th grade year.
Really?
6th grade, yeah, dude. 6th grade football. I ran an 11-second 40.
No, I was the opposite for that.
What?
I
You were a
like
quick
my
kid?
freshman year. I ran the mile and like for the tryouts for the soccer team. They have everyone run the mile. I ran mine in 5:50,
Yeah.
and I was like so stoked. I was telling everyone at school like when it started because like that was in the summer, and I had like the fastest mile out of like. I think there was maybe like 2 seniors that had a faster one,
You are truly winded
and
right
no
now.
one gave a fuck.
You are
Yeah,
truly winded right
this
now.
was years ago.
What happened?
This was a long time ago.
When you ran upstairs, I heard a big thump. What was that?
When I went to grab the Zen, my feet are really, like, the bottom of my soles are really worn down because I've had these shoes for a while, and I fell.
God, that sounds like
I
a
tried to
blues.
stop and slide and grab it, and I slid and fell.
That sounds like a blues song. The bottom of my soul is bruised.
Yeah. You know, another thought I had while I was running to get that?
What?
You know how I showed up? And I was like, do you feel weird? I was like, my head just feels, like, really fucking weird right now.
Yeah, what's up?
I haven't had water today.
I mean, yeah, you got to drink water.
What time is it?
1 p.m.
It is 1:16, 1:17, and I have not had water. I've gotten a lot done, though. I worked out.
You've been awake for hours. That's me because I had to work out this morning and I had to call into the show this morning. So I did like 2 not productive things. The call only took 10 minutes. I wrote before I called in, and then I wanted to fucking walk by the lake and I cried. So I feel like I've had a very
Did you have sunglasses?
no
that's
no
so
sunglasses.
pathetic,
No
dude.
sunglasses. I was crying. You know,
Crying in public is, I don't think I've ever cried in public.
I've cried in public twice this week. I cry in public.
Where?
I cry just on the walk by the lake.
Do you feel shame?
No, I kind of like it. It feels good. It feels
You like people seeing you cry,
I had sunglasses on those times.
but today you didn't?
Today I didn't. It wasn't a full
So it
cry.
was 3 times this week, if you had,
No, only twice. Only twice.
but you had sunglasses once.
It wasn't a full cry. It was just like, do you ever have that? Dude, stop breathing directly into the microphone. Jesus Christ, get a hold of yourself.
I'm like a dog. I'm happy to be here.
You-
Like that job interview I put in that one time. I'm always down to have a good time.
Oh my God. Wait, we got to get back to that story, but let me go to the cry thing. So yeah, I was walking. It's whenever a song lyric like fucking says something that's like vaguely meaningful, and then I see like a dog that used to look like my childhood dog. If those 2 things happen at the same time, guaranteed gonna cry.
What else?
Any
Like how many guaranteed cries do you have?
any movie about a father-son relationship, any movie about
Star Wars?
Yeah, that'll get me. That'll
You've
get
cried
me.
from Star Wars?
Oh my God, dude. Mandalorian? You haven't cried from that?
What scene did you cry from?
Just him hanging out with Grogu. I forget which one it was, but that has a kind of like.
I mean, so every episode you cry, Mandalorian.
Anything with a father-son relationship, anything with brothers, anything with a mother, children dancing together. If children are working together to sing or choreography, I find that beautiful.
What about that documentary about Mount Vesuvius where they show the children doing
What are you talking
Ring
about?
Around the Rose? Oh, no, that's about the Black Plague.
That's
You
a
didn't watch that in
documentary?
school?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought of immediately when you said that. That's like a
Dude, you're fucking ADD
that's
brain.
like a core. Yeah, man, I'm not medicated.
Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about. Things that make me cry.
That's the same thing. They were dancing. It was children dancing, and then they died from the plague.
No, not like that kind of shit. I just mean like children like working together, like doing like a choreographed dance.
That's why you want to be Jack Black from School of Rock so bad.
So that's a big part of it. But I used to teach. Have I told you at my old camp I taught like a music class and it was based
You worked
on
at a camp?
suck my dick, dude. Suck my fucking dick.
What?
Okay. Oh, that's part of the reason I cried this morning. I thought about camp too. Camp has this whole thing about I am third, about you put God first, yourself second. I'm sorry, God first, your family and others second, and then yourself third. And
Nope. Wrong. I'm always looking out for numero uno, dude.
in Collins, it's I am second. Number 1, Jimmy Butler. Number 2,
Yeah.
Collin.
Do you ever notice anytime we go out drinking and you fall asleep first, you wake up, I'm gone, and your wallet's open? I'm always, and then I show up with like a sick new toy. I'm like, look what I found on the way home yesterday. I'm unwrapping it with the receipt.
That's what you took as I'm second. I'm the second person to fall asleep.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
so I'm third. It's about putting yourself in behind other people, like and trying to like help other people. Basically, is the whole idea of it. And this fucking, I just wanted to say this bitch.
Say it. I'll say it. Bitch.
This fucking old lady was walking, just as if she wanted to take up the whole sidewalk, and she was old enough that like it's okay.
Insane. That truly drives me insane.
No, I know it drives me fucking
Was she
nuts.
in like a wheelchair or something, or did she have one of those walker things?
She wasn't in no walker thing. Just her.
Was she fat?
No, she was just kind of older. So
Then
she's
yeah,
like,
pick a side, lady. You're old enough. You know better.
oh, but yeah. So the whole thing is like she was taking forever, and then I finally got around her, and then we keep walking, and I'm now in front of her, and then I hit a crosswalk where I couldn't walk. I had to wait, and then she's now at the same place as me, and I'm like, why did I even fucking worry about passing that lady? And then I'm just walking out, I'm freaking out, and I was like, why was I so rude in my head to that lady? Even though I didn't do anything, it's like, why am I so worried about being in front of her if we're both going to end up in the same place kind of thing? And then the metaphor got too big, and then I just started crying.
That was today?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Dude, I thought this was like a while ago.
No,
oh my
man.
God.
That was this morning. Walking across Clark Street.
And then you stopped at Clark Street Dogs and they were just all, oh no, that's not I'm thinking of Wiener Circle.
No.
It would be funny if you walked into Wiener Circle crying and like a big fat black lady just started calling you a pussy.
Oh,
and then you got like a milkshake.
I thought she was going to be like, honey, what's wrong? And she wanted to make me feel better.
That shit is, my last therapist, I'm in the process of getting a new one because the other one was just like, I've had such bad luck with therapists.
What's the process of you getting a new therapist? You just tell girls that you want to fuck that you're getting a new therapist and don't do any actual.
And then we date for months. I have a big blow up, and they're like, "You're not in therapy, are you?" I'm like, "Bitch, I have a meditation app on my phone. What do you mean?"
Have you even Googled?
Yeah,
where
I just
can
applied to
go?
therapist the other day.
Oh, okay, cool. My bad. My bad.
No,
My
I've been
bad.
going to therapy. It just doesn't work. It's very unorthodox. I call her. She told me in the first session, and she's like this older, like black. She's like, I think an 80-year-old black lady.
That's your therapist?
Very soothing voice. I probably shouldn't say her name on the pod.
Yeah, probably don't do that.
But she calls me like baby and stuff, and like babe, and like sugar, and like all, and it's like doesn't really give me advice. She's given me a couple gems, and
she's 80 years old.
too much. Yeah, she's been doing it for a while. And
Dude, that means if she's 80. She was born in 1943, right?
I mean, she's a boss bitch.
No, this woman had a rough life. Don't call her a boss.
And that's an endearing way.
I know you're saying that with admiration.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. A boss ass bitch. That is a boss ass bitch.
And I am a boss ass baby.
Yes,
I got
yes.
a tie on of Alec
She
Baldwin.
did.
No, but dude, like she's like lived a really rough life. We have both lived like such lives of privilege. Sure, we've had like adversity. We've had a lot of adversity going on.
I wouldn't even call it adversity. I would just say that we fucked it up a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
we made
yeah.
a lot of bad decisions. A lot of bad decisions. And that's like something like I got something I literally thought today where like because I got like a pretty solid opportunity today to make a lot of money. And then I like in my head, I'm like, man, this just like fell into my lap. I was like, God wants me to be successful. I'm like, oh no, I'm just a white kid from the suburbs. I'm a chosen one, dude. I'm special. I'm gonna change lives. I'm like, oh no, it's like I should have done this years ago.
Yes,
It's like shit. It's like I'm behind the curve, but somehow still ahead. I'm like, what is happening?
your dad's friend just gave you a nice opportunity, but in your head, you know what else is funny in that moment? You just be like, man,
I don't want to talk about that because it's illegal.
No, I know, but just the opportunity of just you.
I'm going to the Ozarks.
Dude, let me say my fucking thing.
It was a good line.
I like the opportunity of you being like, oh yeah, like this is the first time I've ever gotten an opportunity like this, and you're like, wait a second. I've gotten dozens of opportunities like this, and I just always squander them.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're one of us, you could really live like the basic sayings of a basic white woman, where it's like,
oh yeah, dude.
If it doesn't happen, it's not meant to be.
Yeah, we can pretty much live, laugh, love. And when there was one set of footprints, I was carrying you.
Yeah.
That can get us through our whole lives. That can make us
live,
figure
laugh,
out
loving
everything.
through life, dude.
Dude, always live, laugh, loving through life. I'm live, laugh, loving through life. I'm don't talk to me before I've got my coffee through life.
Yeah, I'm just hanging in there with a cat, hanging out of like a power line. I'm Garfield, dude. I fucking hate Mondays, bro. I hate Mondays.
Love lasagna.
Yeah.
I like that dog that's always trying to be my friend fucking bothering me.
I'm Calvin and Hobbes because I'm schizophrenic and talk to stuffed animals a lot.
I'm always pissing on shit.
Yeah. I have a tiger in my room that tells me to kill my enemies.
I'm just like Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah. All right. So one thing that I want to talk about from the episode is when you were talking about going on a walk and you heard a song, and then you just instantly started crying.
Yeah, that happens to me.
How often does that happen?
So it's been honest. If we want to be real, since I moved back to Chicago, crying way less. Oh my goodness, way less.
So Indiana made you sad.
Well, it was a breakup. I mean,
you had no friends.
Breakup. No
I could help you with this. You went through a breakup. You had no friends. You gained weight. What were you breaking out? You were probably breaking out.
Sprinkle a little thinking about your dead brother in there. That'll get you.
Okay, I wasn't gonna go there. But now that we did, let's talk about the fact that you might be gay.
I like how as soon as I made it real, as soon as I made it like a real thing,
next level.
A real thing to be sad about, I mentioned like my brother passing away, and you're like, you know what? Let's take this back to normal. I'm gonna call him gay, just so this is too. It got too
Let's
sad.
get him to his comfort zone.
It got too real. Let's get back as a couple.
Let's let him know he has friends. As a guy, let's let him know he has friends and call him gay.
Dude,
and be like, you want to go get a beer or what? Like, what are we doing?
So I was telling. Do you remember the week my fucking brother died? Do you remember you were the day?
Should we just do this? Should we just die? I feel like this describes us pretty well. Let's just do this. Let's do it. Tell the story. So this is the first episode.
The day my brother passed away, I mean, it was obviously a very sad day, and I'm with my brother and I'm with my dad, and we're having this like nice, like quiet moment of reflection. Just the three of us. We're all crying. We're all devastated.
I don't need to laugh.
And then no, it's fine. It's very funny. And then Collin texted me, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to get on Fortnite?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I can't right now." And I haven't told anyone the news, so I'm not going to break it to you just yet.
I had some free time, and I wanted to hang out. And you don't live in Chicago anymore, so that's how we hang. I probably had a rough day too.
So you hit me up and you're like, "Hey, can we play Fort?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I really can't right now. I'm so sorry." Like, and I've looked back at the text. We never talked to each other like this. I'm like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. I can't play Fortnite right now. I'll hit you up later." And you're like, "You dumb motherfucker. You call me a fucking bitch." You're like, "Bitch, come on, man. We've been chilling all week. We've been getting dubs all fucking week.
I just did two things. I need to relax."
Look, Willie, I got coffee and I applied to a job. Yeah. Okay, I'm being productive over here. You need to play ball. So I don't get back to you. And because, I'm with my family, it's very quiet. We're all grieving. And like 3 hours later, you're like, "Bitch, are you ready to log on the game?"
And the worst part is I probably was doing nothing until that point. I'm just waiting.
You were doing nothing. So here's it goes on. So the next day, the same thing. It's just like family stuff. My family, like, we all didn't live in the same city at this point. So like we're calling people. My sister's in Europe at this time. So we gotta like get her back from Europe. And my mom's in California.
Dealing with like time changes.
We're dealing with time changes. And I'm getting calls from like, I just done like a 10-year school reunion, and someone linked it to the 10-year reunions. So I'm getting texts from people that don't care about me at all, and they're just been like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear." And everyone in my life, everyone that's texting me on this day, is not a part of my life and doesn't give a fuck about me. But this day, I'm so sorry, and I'm not mad at any of them. They're all being sweet. They're all being kind. But I'm kind of in this weird place where I'm so sad. I'm in this like emotionally destructive place. And then you text me and you're like, "Hey, motherfucker, you want to hop on the fucking game, or are you going to be a bitch again today?" And I get that text. I show it to my older brother, and he's like, "You need to get better friends. And he's like, "No, Collin doesn't know yet." And he's like, "Why don't you tell him?" And I'm like, "This is why I don't tell him, because this is what I get when I don't tell him." And I keep talking about this with people.
Shit.
I've talked about it with a therapist before, and I just think that I just wanted. I mean, the day after you get really bad news, like grieving is hard. I'm kind of used to it. I've lost a lot of close friends in my life, and there's no code book, there's no guidebook. You're very sad and you're miserable. But people do kind of treat you differently, and it was so nice just that you had no idea. And not only were you treating me the same, but that the status quo, the same, was just being...
Calling you a motherfucker.
Just being like, "Hey, you dumb bitch. I just got 2 dubs without you. I don't fucking need you." And you're like sending me a video of your Fortnite. You're playing Fortnite as fucking like Deadpool, and you're doing like fucking like you're doing Fortnite
you see my
dances.
feet in socks in front of the TV, just moving my toes.
And I just know I'm like so sad. I'm truly devastated. It's like the worst week of my life, but I do get like a little smile just knowing that you're standing in front of your TV alone.
Yeah.
You're standing in front of a television like
That's
a 12
how you win. You need to focus, dude.
like a 12-year-old boy.
Everyone else is sitting down. I'm standing up because I care more.
Okay, so then on Monday, the news gets out. I post about it. Everyone knows that my younger brother passed away. And then you hear wind of this. I'm not sure how exactly you hear wind, but
You know what? It's kind of hilarious. I was with my ex, and I was at my ex's place at the time, and she was so mad at me for something, and I was like, literally, I was like, or no, she was just, her dog shit all over her apartment, and she was such a bad mood. I called off work that day, and I was like scrubbing her floors, and I was like doing them wrong, and she was yelling at me for doing them wrong.
And in your head, you're like, "Man, no one on this earth is having a worse day than me right now."
I was literally just gonna say, shit, like I'm like cleaning up shit off a floor. I'm barefoot, and like the floor just soaked in like soapy shit dog water. And I'm like, "There's no way this day could get any worse." But she's yelling at me, and then she, from the other room, she's like, "Oh my God." And then she told me, I'm like, "I'm gonna step outside." I'm like, I was like, "I need to call Willie immediately."
You gave me a call, and you call me, and you just go, "Dude, I'm so... Why didn't you tell me?"
That was...
You were like, "Are you okay? I'm so sorry."
And so badly, I want to be like, "You motherfucker. You knew what you were doing. You're using this against me, aren't you?"
No, honestly, truly though, it just...
Oh, shit.
I can't explain it. It just felt good that there was one person on earth that was treating me the same way they treated me 12 hours before.
Oh, that's our regular.
That was it. Episode 1 of Loose Toss.
In the books.
In the books.
We did it.
How do you feel about it, dude?
I feel like I kind of look like an asshole at the end, but it's all, when I call So when I call you a motherfucker and a bitch for not playing Fortnite, it's all love. It's because I want to get dubs.
Yeah.
I just want what's best for you, and that's winning Fortnite.
Yes. And after a re-listen, I would like to say, at one point you apologize. I'm saying like something super sad, and then you apologize for laughing. And I go, oh, no, it's great. It's super funny. It's not super funny, but contextually, the way you're treating me in that moment.
The interaction is funny.
Yeah, that's
the
what was
interaction
funny.
is funny.
It's not like, oh, what a hilarious week that was. That's not...
I got to write that down.
But thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us at Loose Toss across all platforms. And thank you so much to Ashley, who took our pictures for the logo. Find her at ANF Photography.
She's the best in the game.
We got little Nikki Rohrman helping us edit episodes. Thank you for that, Nick.
Shout out little Nikki.
Thank you so much, Sebastian Lopez, did our theme music. Speaking of that,
Seb is the king.
Seb really is the king. And the music is way too cool for what we're doing. This music sounds so sick.
Yeah. This music is a loose toss. So it fits perfectly.
It fits very perfect. But yeah, thank you again for listening. Next week we have a new episode with comedian Brad Sativa out of Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to talk to Brad. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to plug shows. Oh, and by the way, this weekend you can see me at the Ho Chunk Gaming Casino with Ho Chunk. I just really God damn it! We stuck the landing and then I fucked it up. No, it's at Ho Chunk Gaming and Casino in Wisconsin Dells. I'll be with Pat Godwin and Jeff Oskey. In about a month, me and Collin are Union Brewing, Carmel,
Union
Indiana.
Brewing Company, Carmel, Indiana, December 4th, 7:30 p.m. We'll have a lot of other shows coming up. Follow Willie. What is it? Willie G.
At Willie.Griswold.
At Willie.Griswold. At Unger.Collin for me. My Venmo is Collin-Unger. Let's start a beautiful friendship.
Stop begging people.
I want a PlayStation 5.
For money.